Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be on this beautiful earth, that you are taking time to stay hydrated and stay well rested, and that you are doing the best possible self-care that you possibly can. That you are meditating, which does relieve stress. It makes everything in your life better. Your ability to think outside the box, solve problems, better connections with other people, better love life. Everything is better when you're able to meditate, even for a few minutes a day. And on the days you think you don't have 10 minutes to meditate are the days you probably need to meditate for an hour, or so says the Japanese. I don't know which Japanese person said it, but it's a saying in Japan. Among the meditators, supposedly. It was a meme I saw, so don't quote me on that. Could be wrong. But we are going through so much right now. Oh my God. I mean, you could maybe even hear it in my voice that I'm just like, oh my God, there's just so much. You know, we've been going through, we had 7 planets in retrograde. Venus went direct recently. A lot of people broke up right when that happened, within 2 days of either side of that event. But we had 7 planets in retrograde. We, over the weekend, had a full moon. We had a lunar eclipse. And on Sunday, we had a really bizarre situation in which every single freaking planet lined up in a straight damn line on one side of the sun. The last time something like this happened, only 8 planets lined up, and that was 37 years ago. And I think this exact occurrence, like all of them, planet parade, all in a big row, I think the last time this happened was like 6,000 years ago. That's what I read somewhere. But you look at planet parade and then people don't really, you know, they'll say that word, that phrase or something. And anyway, it's like I couldn't find it, the scientific explanation. I couldn't find the spiritual, what does this mean, you know, for us situation. And also over the weekend, we were closer to the star Sirius. I don't know if it's Sirius A or Sirius B. Probably, I think it's Sirius A, but I'm not sure. But we were closer to that than we have been all year. And that star is also giving us cosmic radiation. Yesterday and today, we have been hit by solar winds, as well as cosmic radiation, as well as the energy from Sirius star A, I believe it's A. And that's 23 times brighter than our own sun. There's a lot of light codes, upgrades, downloads, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it. It is a really, really, really crazy time for us right now, energetically speaking. And also, you know, emotionally, we have been just really feeling the feels. Good, bad, everything in between. I mean, I feel my twin my twin flame, I don't know him in person. I've never met him. Never as much as gotten a text or anything from him. Hint, hint, if you're him, listen. Write me on Instagram. You could call me on Instagram. I won't even know your phone number. If you're him. But, and if you are him, you know you're him, because we've been dreaming together a lot lately. But even my telepathing with my twin flame, I feel he's been really like he wants to be with me constantly, energetically. And I have too. I'll wake up in the morning, and if I don't feel him, I'll call out to him, hey, can you come and be with me? And we're feeling like we're next to each other. Like I'll feel his arm around me at night. Or I'll feel, like I'll put my arm like on my pillow, and then I'll just feel like he's like energetically there. And I just feel like he's been feeling isolated and lonely a little bit. And he's just like, even though he has friends, he talks to, I'm sure of it, but he's just like, I really just don't want to be alone anymore. Like he's getting to be at his breaking point, which is good. That means we'll probably find each other quickly. And I feel the same way, like, not like I'm desperate for it, but just, it's time, it's due. This is the time. And I feel like a lot of people are having emotional, I don't want to say emotional breakdowns, but moments where you just burst into tears, and you sometimes don't even know why you're crying. You feel so much love and you cry. You feel so much sadness or nostalgia and you cry. It doesn't matter, but we're all like on the verge of tears. A lot of people are on edge, overwhelmed. Every single sign is overwhelmed. In fact, if you go to N5D, which is on YouTube, Greg Prescott has this amazing channel. And almost every night he's doing live stuff now. He has to, because he can't upload. Like, I had this problem. That's why I started a podcast. I was trying to have I was trying to turn my Metaphysical Soul Speak the radio show into my YouTube channel, and it just wasn't working because, at first it worked, and then once they realized what kind of content I was going to upload, what happened was a 4-minute video would take 5 hours to upload, and it wouldn't have any visual. It would just be black. So then I'd have to delete it and start over, and 4 hours later the little 5-minute or 4-minute video would upload, and it would be fine, but it wouldn't have sound. The visual would be fine, but there's no sound. And this kind of crap went on and on and on. One time I uploaded, and everything was fine. The visual as well as the audio was fine. And the next day YouTube took it down and said that I was violating a copyright. And it took them 3 days to review the materials when I proved to them that I indeed have a 99-year lease on the music that I used. Because I don't use music that is copyrighted, that's like breaking the law. I'm not going to do that. So, just ridiculous, just so ridiculous. And I just was like, screw YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, forget it. And the show is being uploaded by Spreaker to YouTube. And by the way, if you're a podcaster, never, ever, ever get involved with Spreaker. They will charge your card without asking and do data dumps. Like, if you're listening to me on YouTube, you're not getting all of my shows. I'm putting out 5 shows a week. I'm consistent with getting 5 shows done every week, but the timing, it hasn't, in the past month, has not been around Wednesday, Thursday. I lag a little bit and end up getting the show out late. But what they've been doing on YouTube has been, all of a sudden, they get 5 or 10 episodes are uploaded like within 10 minutes. And then nothing for 2 weeks. And it's like, oh my God, I'm like losing people left and right on YouTube because they're just getting, like, in their feed, all of a sudden there's like 10 of my videos, and it's like, what the hell? You know, when I first started Spreaker, they were supposed to upload one a day as soon as within 10 minutes of my uploading it on Anchor. And they don't do that anymore. They just violated their agreement and won't refund my money, and they won't stop doing this. You know, so it's kind of a weird thing. But, so if you are listening to me on YouTube, by the way, please find another way to listen to Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast, because you're not getting every single episode. There's an episode on Twin Flames, like from last year, that never ever got uploaded. It's like, how are they supposed to be my distributor right now? You know, if my show is over 2 hours, you know, if it's like 2 hours and 30 seconds, they won't upload it. Unless they're trying to hold me hostage for more money. You know, and so they want me to pay $500 so that they'll upload that extra 30 seconds. It's ridiculous. So, anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that, but the point is, all this emotional stuff, like I've noticed on YouTube, on Instagram, all on social media, if somebody says something that's really mild, like really normal, you know, like I have a question about this, or I don't believe this, how can I, get more information? And people start coming at that kind of a simple, non-opinionated, non-sarcastic sort of question with absolute fighting, angry energy. It's been hilarious, because Sheree and Kara said that people are going to start exploding outward or upward, and when they explode outward, it might be angry. But we're all going to be very, very overwhelmed. Oh yeah, anyway, and in 5D with, I picked that thread right back up. In 5D with Greg Prescott, he just had this lady, Allie, I don't remember her last name, Allison, and she has done an excellent tarot card reading for each of the signs. And when she got to Virgo, she had already done 7 of these readings, and they all had cards of being overwhelmed. So every single one of us right now is emotional and overwhelmed and prone to misinterpreting information and being angry. Oh, and my God, I was just overwhelmed by allergies. It just overtook me. I had to pause for a minute and blow my nose. Absolutely crazy. Like, I wasn't having any allergies at all when I started the show. And that was like 12 minutes ago. So literally out of nowhere. I have been having urticaria, which is a weird skin condition where you get, like, on my face, I get like pockets of, where it just swells up with fluid, and it goes away on its own usually. Sometimes I have to take like a Benadryl or something, but when it does, when you have urticaria, internally, sometimes I have it internally, like in my, eyes or my lungs or whatever will swell. And that is dangerous. That's why I have to absolutely take a Benadryl. I have to keep it with me at all times. But it's like totally crazy. Like lately my eyes, I've been having, like, around my eyes, I've been having these little pockets of swelling. I just uploaded a picture of me, and you can see it in my eyes. It's like there. I'm like, I don't care. It's a part of me. I accept myself completely, and I accept the weird things that happen to my body, and it's temporary. It's not constantly like that, but it just happens. I've seen movie stars that have this. It's really crazy. It's like, it doesn't faze me. I just go, yeah, cool. They got urticaria too, or at least, at that moment they did. Have you guys ever cried and your eyes get so swollen that even though you wake up happy the next day, you can't even open your eyes because they're so swollen? That happens to me sometimes, where it's absolutely like, I can't. I mean, I look like Garfield's dad. It's so embarrassing. It's like, oh my God. Like, sometimes there's no amount of ice that will even take out the swelling. It's urticaria. It's a form of it. It's weird. But I've had a lot of moments in the past 3-4 days where I was just really down, really depressed, really sad. And sometimes I wasn't really those things, but I was nostalgic and sentimental and overwhelmingly like missing the past. I miss the feeling of safety I've had in the past in certain areas or times of my life. Like when I was very little and I was with my grandma, and my grandpa, or when I was just, when I had a boyfriend and I thought it was solid, when I had a husband and I thought it was solid. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if everyone does this or if it's just me, but I get really like stuck with the notion that thank God we're here. This part of my life is settled and now, thank God. And I never think it could change. I mean, from day to day, of course, today we have spaghetti and tomorrow we have a roast, things like that change. But I never thought that the relationships would end, and I never felt like there was anything to be alarmed of. And I've had relationships just end suddenly out of nowhere. Like, frickin' what happened? Looking back, I realized these people were narcissists and they enjoyed that, ripping the rug out from somebody once they feel like the rug is nailed down to the floor. And you don't know that they're unraveling those nails from the floor. You just don't see that, but the gaslighting thing. And now that I know what I know, it's not going to happen again. But I remember times in my life, like, where I felt completely safe, completely loved, completely everything. And I don't miss those relationships. God, no, not at all. Knowing what I know now, not at all. But I miss those moments of what I thought were clarity. And I miss those sentimental, nostalgic moments where everything in this moment is perfect and I'm safe. So I've been trying to get to that level again, where I'm just, but on my own without another, relationship. Where it's just me. I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm all right. And then when my next relationship comes along, when that person's with me, I'm going to already have that feeling, and I'm not going to rely on them to give that feeling to me. So that's something I've been working on lately because of the feels I've been feeling, just overwhelming with the love and the longing for those feelings I've had in the past that aren't here now. So I don't know if you guys are going through that or not, but if you are, it's time to take care of yourself. This is the self-care hour, you know what I mean? This is the time that we need to get really and truly on our own side, have our own backs, here's this allergy thing going again. It's like I'm not crying. It sounds like I'm crying. I'm really not. I don't know what the hell happened, but all of a sudden I just got so like overwhelmed with. I'm gonna have to put that UV light on downstairs, because it knocks toxins out of the air. It knocks everything. The ozone generator. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, everybody's been overwhelmed, and if you've been feeling overwhelmed lately, it's okay. But you got to do the self-care thing. You got to rest, relax. This is the time to just pull in the energy from the cosmos and try to process it. Taking naps, drawing, journaling, meditating, coloring in a coloring book even, Years ago I had she was actually the owner of this building and the office manager. Her and her husband were therapists, and they bought this building, which used to be a whorehouse in Grass Valley. It was on the river. It was absolutely gorgeous, and that was my old hypnotherapy office with my husband. We had a practice together there, and they would rent out the rooms for like $10 an hour. It was amazing. It was like, this is really cool, actually. And and she had like a couple little feet in different rooms of the whorehouse wallpaper that she preserved. I think she put like a frame with glass over it. Like it was an actual picture on the wall. Just because she wanted to preserve part of the history. She thought that was hilarious because, now it's like a therapy center for all kinds of therapists. We were, like there's psychotherapists and psychoanalysts, people go about it, Jungian, and they have the Freudian, and then here my husband and I, we were the hypnotherapists, and he was working on his bachelor's degree. I already had my bachelor's in psychology, but it was kind of cool times. But and God, why did I even bring that up? There was a point to that one too. But anyway, another time in which I was really comfortable and really loved myself and loved my life, and I had a perfect wardrobe. And then after about a couple of years, we got pregnant, and my body changed, and none of those clothes fit me anymore. So I packed up this massive box worth of, I don't know, it's probably, if I had paid full price for the clothes, probably a few $1,000s worth of clothes, and I just shipped them off for free to the Lakota Sioux Reservation. They had a program that they're calling for professional clothes. All my clothes were professional, like really beautiful clothes, and they didn't fit me anymore after I gave birth. It was like my body was all kinds of different. I was like, no. But bigger boobs, I guess. I don't know. Something happened. My hips a little tiny bit bigger, and I mean, life happens. But it was just this program for Native women to get jobs and to have good clothes for the interview and good clothes to work after they have the interview. And man, they got some really cool clothes. Like, I mean, I had some really nice designer things in there. I had a friend who collected designer clothes, and like she had these gorgeous dresses, and then she gained weight and she had to move, and she fell on hard times and needed to sell her stuff. And so I'm like getting like $200, $300 dresses for like $20. And she had only worn them like once or twice, and I'm like, no way. She's like desperate times, She sold me her $600 washing machine for like $100. It was like ridiculous. I was like, oh, I'm so grateful for her though. Like, she was one of the coolest people in the world. But anyway, enough of these allergies. I'm really over this. I think I have to wash every single blanket on my bed again, and it's only been like, I don't know, a week. And maybe I just have to do this every week. I don't know. Washing my sheets is one thing, but I think I have to wash like my bedspreads every week now. Living in the country has been really weird, and I've noticed that the emotions are running high among the animals in the animal kingdom around me too. Like, the dogs have been just, thank God they're quiet right now, but they've been like really fighting and going after each other with such venom and hatred. It's been really crazy. And the cows, I don't know what's going on with the cows, but all day long they were really close and they were mooing, and I couldn't see them, but I could hear them like they were outside my window. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, my son and I'd just be sitting there normal, and it sounds like there's a cow right outside our front door, just I'm like, what the hell? I mean, we kept looking out the window, there's like nothing there. Why it's like a ghost cow or something. And I know that across the river, just on the other side of the river, which is like about a block, if you were going to look at a city block, it's literally 1 block away. There's cows and there's a bull, lots of chickens, and a lot of a couple of roosters. And then within from here, like the next couple miles over, there's a lot of roosters, because one will go off, and then it's like a a circle of roosters that like to just scream at each other in the night. And normally they don't start their crowing until about 4 a.m. And lately it's been like 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, and It's like, what the hell is going on at the roosters? Like, this isn't normal. And the chickens were clucking all day long today. Like, the animals are making a lot more noise than they normally do. Now, the geese, about once every couple weeks, the geese on the other side of this property, they all go kind of crazy. They start getting kind of feisty with each other, and they start fighting, but it's not that often. And the dogs, they bark. They're dogs. They bark all the time, right? But there's been a lot more energy of being super angry and venomous, right? And even among the neighbors, like I told you guys last week about the weird neighbor drama, I haven't even looked at that thing at all. Today, I took a quick sneak peek. I wanted to see something said, like they said vecinos or something, and I thought, well, let's see, because I had a feeling maybe someone needed to get prayed for. And then they were just talking about how the aliquotas weren't paid. It's like $10 a month. It's not much, but that pays the security guard salary. So when there's like 103, maybe it's like 120 houses, and they each pay, that's $1,200 a month goes to the security guard. But not everyone has paid, and so he's not getting, he either can't work or he's not getting what he deserves, and he needs to eat and pay for his own bills. So, so they're still on that, trying to shame everybody. If you didn't pay, then, let's put your name out there so that we could all pressure you, basically. And I could see that on behalf of the security guard. I think that's very sweet that people care, but I think it's more about them caring about puffing themselves up and egotistically pointing their finger at other people who don't have enough money right now. I think it's more like it's and less about having a compassionate heart towards the security guard. I just saw literally 2 sentences out of this really long paragraph. I'm like, nope. I don't want to look at that. It's like, I already paid my money. I know the landlady who owns this place owes $40, but that's not my fault. It's not my deal. It's not my responsibility. But I did pay for May, and even though I was only here 2 weeks in May, and I did pay for June, so hey, it is what it is. Oh damn, I realize I owe for July. Now that I'm saying it, oh no. But I pay on the 15th because that's when I pay all my bills. So I'm still 10 days early. But I don't know. I mean, have you guys been overwhelmed with the energy, with everything? The the veils of the worlds have been very thin. It's it feels almost like, I don't know about you guys, but it's been feeling like fall. For me, it just feels like winter is coming. And I am in the southern half of the world. I'm in the bottom half of the world, technically, or maybe it's not even technically, it's just according to the maps that the white people's made. They're on top of the world, the rest of us aren't. I'm just kidding. I don't want to be starting anything there, but there's that feistiness coming out. But no, I don't know. I mean, I'm just feeling like winter's coming. I probably need to get a warmer blanket, which is dumb because I know that it doesn't get much colder than where it's been. 48 degrees has been really cold. That's how cold it gets at night. 48 degrees Fahrenheit. But, which is cold. I mean, it's not that cold. If you have a heater, it's not cold, but we don't have heaters. We don't use air conditioner, and we don't use heaters. We don't generally need it. Usually if you just turn on a waffle iron for an hour, that will heat your whole house, or just, make dinner, turn on the waffle iron, put the coffee pot on, and maybe turn on the hairdryer for 10 minutes. I mean, that's our little strategy. We do that, and And then the heat rises, and then my son's room, and he's on the second floor, and my room in the third floor get warmer. And if that doesn't work, we've got candles, so we light candles. Well, that's all we need. I mean, we don't really need an actual... Some nights, though, I feel like, I think I might need a heater. I would get spoiled and make it really warm in here every day. But when the sun comes out, it gets nice and warm, stays good. But even though it has been warm during the day for a few days, I still have this internal sense of winter is coming. This intense feeling of this is still hibernation time. This is time to kind of just go within, and I don't know. It's just an energy that I keep feeling, and it is a time to continue to hibernate since we're still, in the middle of quarantine. One of my favorite memes coming out this week said, you said quarantine would be over in June, but July. It's like, yeah, July. Oh, man. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But so in the fall, like on Halloween, like around the 31st of October on through the 2nd of November, which is, there's All Saints Day, All Souls Day, and then Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. And during these times, it feels like very cold and hibernating sort of energy, like you want to stay inside. And it's the energy of the world veils are thinner, and between the other side, heaven or whatever, and it's like you can have better communication, but also you're being visited by other things, other beings, other creatures more often, and you're noticing it more often. Like, it's probably happening all the time, but you tend to notice it more. You hear your name whispered and you're like, what the hell? Like, I know I'm the only one here. Or you'll see a shadow, just out of the corner of your eye, or you'll feel that someone's staring at you and watching you. And I mean, for the past 3 or 4 days, I've noticed this a lot more. And as soon as I said that, I just saw a couple of things shooting through my room. I think they're fairy folks. Hey, guys. But I've had a tall white alien being come to my house about on Saturday. I was in the middle of the day. All of a sudden, I hear this crack, like the space in my room. It was almost like a miniature sonic boom. And it's just this loud crack, like if somebody cracked a whip. And this is the sound I've heard when the Lyrans show up. But when the Lyrans show up, it sounds like a cat running across the floor with a cracking of a whip sound. Which is super disturbing when you hear that out of nowhere. It's like, wow. And I have PTSD anyway, so it's like even double, like, ah. But I heard this cracking whip sound, and all of a sudden I felt like, ooh, there's a being in the room with me. Kind of hair on my neck standing up and getting the emotional chills and the feeling weird. And so I just walked right up to where I felt that energy, and I asked God, is there someone here? And the answer was yes. And I said, do you hear me? And he started talking to me. And he was a tall white alien being, very positive, light, loving, light being. And I asked him, what is he doing here? And he said, I'm going to observe you for the next few hours. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right. So why do you want to observe me? He's like, well, I'm going to observe you, and I'm interested in how you live, and I'm interested in what you're doing and how you go about your life. I'm going to be here with you a couple hours, and at the same time I'm going to give you light codes, and I'm here to help clear out any residue in your subtle bodies. And this isn't the first time. I've told you guys this a few times, that we all have beings, energies, beings, whatnot, they're all working in our favor, conspiring in our favor to clear out our subtle energy bodies, our, emotional bodies, mental bodies, astral bodies, chakras, they're just our auras, all of these things, they're here to clear out, cleanse for us, because they want to see us succeed. The Pleiadians, they want us to be part of the Galactic Federation, which, it's like Star Trek, man, getting up there with all the other beings, all the other races. How incredible is that? The idea of being able to be with them in their ships, on their space stations, or whatever they have. We still need to raise our vibration up so we can actually see them, but guess what? We're actually starting to see them. There have been sightings in Vegas and not New Mexico, maybe New Mexico, but in Mexico, in Vegas, Michigan, all over the world. There have been a lot of light ship sightings of the Pleiadians. They're here. They've been here, but they're showing themselves. They're revealing themselves slowly, but slowly, but slowly. And surely, I think it's coming. I think, I don't know, a couple people have said the fall, like in September. I think I might have said it during one of my channelings. I don't remember always what's happening in the channelings, but this stuff has been going on. I put a couple posts on at Mermaid Girl 888, my Instagram channel, over the weekend, and it's been crazy. I one of my posts I even said a tall white alien being came, and my twin flame started communicating with me at the same time, and my dead Sicilian step grandmother, my stepmother's grandmother or great grandmother, one of the two. She I don't know when she told me, I think she died in 1987 or 86, something like that. And she told me that no one really cared because they moved to the new world and they didn't care about the old world anymore. And they didn't care about the recipes, and everybody just kind of left her, alone. Her children went to America. So she's like, I have no one else to pass this along to. And I'm like, but I'm not even your relative. She's like, but you know what? You're close enough. And you can hear me. So I'm giving you the recipes. So I made a really amazing, with her guidance, I made a really amazing spaghetti sauce, like a meat sauce. And on Saturday, we had it on ravioli. And on Sunday, it's always better the next day. The spices get to soak in and blend the flavors. And then on Sunday, we had it on top of spaghetti, which was really, 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 really good. But it was amazing because she was telling me, Ash was telling me the recipe. She was saying, now, you want to be a kitchen witch, this is what you do. And she gave me the strega instructions, the witch instructions, the witchcraft. I'm like, holy crap, from my stepmom's family, I have a whole line of ancestors I never even thought about. But at least she's working with me. I don't know if the rest of the Sicilian ancestors, the strega, will work with me or not, but maybe they will. And God bless them if they will want to, because even though I'm a step-granddaughter, she's giving me this, but she was like saying, we put in a little bit of olive oil because we wish our life to go smoothly, and it's kind of a suave, kind of like a rich thing to have olives in your life. And they're so abundant on the trees. They're like prolific, and so we wish for life to go smoothly, and it's a form of abundance and riches to have olives, and the pressed olives. And I have this like virgin olive oil that I was using. I think it's extra virgin olive oil, and it's just like really good olive oil. And then I put in the tomatoes, and she says, the tomatoes is for the passion in your life and the passion that you wish to always have the thing that you love the most in your life. Now, you can make this a love potion. You can make the spaghetti sauce a love sauce. If it is for your beloved, it could be your passion between you as your passionate love. And, and then as I was putting in the rosemary, she says, and this will banish all the negative forces so that they stay away from you. This will bring fumigation in your soul, like you'll purify ethereal bodies, and the oregano will do the same. And I mean, it was like this, every single ingredient, she had a thing that went with it. Like the basil is for abundance, it's for fertility if you're interested in that, but you don't mention those words if you're not. So everything has multiple things you can, use it for, but you have to say the words that you mean at that moment. And so she showed me how to stir it. There's a way to stir it where you make a pentagram in, the food, and you can only fold it over in a certain way. You can't stir it. I mean, it was like ridiculous. It was amazing. And the sauce was perfect. So for 2 days we ate like straight up Sicilian, except for the ravioli, which she was a little bit disgusted with because I did not make it from scratch. And she said she will teach me how to make it from scratch someday. I'm like, all right. She already taught me how to make Alfredo sauce, and she taught me how to make pesto sauce over the years. She's taught me everything. So, I mean, my twin flame is going to be lucky, but also maybe fat. Okay, not really, because I'm not going to eat like this daily, but there's a lot of work that goes into. It's like the Sicilian cooking anyway, but then she had her own stuff from her own parents, and I think they came from the north, so her stuff was like pretty unique to her, but she also had the Strega stuff, and what every ingredient means, and every ingredient is magical. It's like you're cooking in a cauldron, even though you're in the kitchen with a normal pot. It was incredible. But dealing with beings all weekend, and then on Saturday I watched the Bird Box, because like a couple people started talking about the Bird Box on Instagram, but someone directly told me, you need to see this movie. It's really, really spiritual. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I watched the movie and I'm like, is it though? Am I missing something? It's like they don't want to see their demons because the demons will make them kill themselves. It doesn't really sound spiritual to me, but I don't want to go too far into it in case you haven't seen the movie. The movie's good. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a weird movie. It's disturbing. But today I saw a shadow right outside my door, identical to what I saw in the movie. I'm like, are you effing kidding me right now? So I watched the stupid movie, and now I'm actually seeing the thing that, okay, this is weird. As soon as I said the shadow, now I'm freaking out. Okay, is there anyone in here? Anything in here? Okay, good. God, am I safe? Everything's fine. Is there anything in here? Okay, so my screen went completely black, and that doesn't happen. What the hell? Right, I said that. Anyway, yeah, there's like a demon lurking on the outside of my front door today. I saw him. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you here? Because I've confronted all my demons. And I don't think he was my son's demon, but I don't know why he was there. I think he was just bored, want to be starting something, like... If you've confronted all of your demons, you won't have any more personal demons. And there are actual demons trying to get you to do whatever the thing is, And I was like, hey, I've confronted all my demons, so what are you doing? And you're not welcome in my house. I don't need any more chaos. I don't need any more negativity in my world. You know what I mean? But I literally saw, there was no one there, but this black shadow went across the window in my front door. I was like, huh, at least he's on the outside. Oh my effing God. It's like I'm used to this crazy stuff happening to me all the time. But at the same time, a lot of these things, when it happens at that moment, I'm like, ugh, and I kind of freeze a little bit. I get a little bit of that PTSD feeling, like, oh my God. But I saw a demon today, I mean, every now and again, Lucifer will show up and he'll just like talk to me and just about, hey, I'm bored. Is there anyone you want to punish today? You want to do a spell or a ritual? And anyone you have in mind, you want to send me after them? Like, that's what he wants to do now. I'm like, no, not really, not today. I'll think of someone maybe, but not really today, no. And he's like, oh, fine, you're no fun, you're boring, and then he leaves. Bye. Like, no, you don't have to punish anyone today, dear. My dear brother. You go. Talk to you later, But, yeah, I don't know. Life has been very odd lately. I have sent Archangel Michael. I had to ask God, can I do this? I always ask God for permission to ask the angels to do anything. Hey, can you send Archangel Michael for this person and that person and protect them, send them, cut cords. My twin, I had a feeling he had cords between someone he's going to see that he does not like and does not want to be around. And he was afraid. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm going to protect you. Hold on. And I did a ritual, a little small ritual, and I said, hey, Archangel Michael, I need you to go and cut all the cords he's got that are no longer serving him. And you can't really do other people's battle for them unless they ask you to, but when it's your twin flame, you can, because it's affecting you directly, like straight up. So I did that, and oh my God, like 80% of my anxiety went away in like 2 seconds as soon as I was done. I'm like, And I told him of a ritual that he can do to feel better, to feel protected. And I gave him the idea of it, and he was visualizing it. I guess he was in the middle of something and he couldn't do it. And he was like, all right. And I feel that he actually took care of it. So I wanted to let you guys know, if you don't have any magical supplies whatsoever, but you are really good at visualizing a flame and a candle burning down for whatever purpose you want it to be, just imagine there's salt around it. Imagine there's salt around you to protect you, which it's like a crystal that sets up like a grid. You can use your power of visualization, because having a candle outwardly, it's only a focusing tool anyway. And if you can focus inwardly, you don't need anything outwardly ever again. But it's fun. And it warms your house if you're me. Most of you are in summer's way, and it's time to buy shorts and dresses and sandals and bathing suits even, which is amazing. I'm so happy for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, where you're starting to, maybe go out in your backyard a little bit more, or maybe a little bit, stay social distancing though, because boy, the COVID is, 52,000 people last week in one day in the United States got infected. And not in one day, they had been infected like 2 weeks before, but 52,000 people tested positive in one day. So it's not gone away, and we're in the middle of that second wave coming. So please continue with your mask wearing, your social distancing, and stay away from the people who are freaking out of nowhere, claiming President Trump sent them to ruin Target displays. Oh my God, look that up. That's an article that I read today. Just some crazy lady said that QAnon told her to, and President Trump told her to destroy all the display masks in Target. And then when the Target people came near her, she said, "You're just jealous of my $40,000 Rolex." And then everybody started laughing at her. And like, are you making fun of me because I'm white? Are you making fun of me because I'm blonde? And oh my God, she just had to go embody the idea of the Karen, I suppose. It was hilarious. I'm like, what? People are going crazy. You know, the overwhelm thing, and people are starting to lash out. I don't want to wear a mask. Oh my God. Like, stay home then. 100% stay home. That's what I do. But I do have a mask I usually wear around my neck, and then when people knock on the door, I like put the mask up over my face. But okay, let's see here. Let's go to our normal things. We haven't gotten to this yet. Okay, spaceweather.com has some interesting things to say today. The solar wind speed is 461.8 kilometers per second, so quite a bit faster than last week when it was in the 300s, even the low 300s. We do have one sunspot. It's decaying, and check this out. It's a member of the old solar cycle 24. It's AR 2766. So that's pretty crazy. It says right here, minor stream of solar wind is currently buffeting Earth's magnetic field today. And so we're going to have a lot of geomagnetic unrest around the poles. And the gaseous material is flowing from a northern hole in the sun's atmosphere. So people in the Antarctic will be happy to know they're going to have some aurora borealises. There are some beautiful pictures of noctilucent clouds, a gorgeous picture of Paris, but the sky is weird. There's like a line going diagonal across the sky, and it's reddish, rusty brown on the bottom, and a pale blue with glowing noctilucent clouds in the upper half. Like, really crazy pictures here. I mean, some of them, it just looks like daytime even though it's night. In one of them, in another one of them, it's electric blue, gorgeous electric blue. So you guys might want to go check this out. And this was oh goodness, this is spaceweather.com. I'm sorry, I have to go check and make sure. All right. Oh my God. I went to look and it said 5150. I'm like, oh my God, that's the police code for being sectioned, for being put into the insane ward at a hospital. Oh my God. All right, sunspot number 11. We've had 0 days without a spot because there's a spot right now. Just to let you know, the ULO neutron counts are high. Last week they were very high. They've gone down by 0.3%. Now they're at 9.6% of the space age average. And it says that we are inside a minor stream of solar wind that's currently flowing from the northern coronal hole. So you're probably feeling this. Now there's this picture, you guys, of a lake on spaceweather.com, and they're talking about the noctilucent clouds. What they're not talking about are I don't know if they are Pleiadian light ships on the left half of this picture towards the tree line. There's two of them. You have to blow it up to see. One is right at the edge of the trees and one is above. Coming down, it looks like a portal. Oh, and speaking of, two weird things I saw in the sky today. I saw exactly Will Ferrell's face in that insane... I swear to, I was high as hell when I saw this thing, and it scared the shit out of me. This movie, normally I like his movies, where he's like the president of the world, of the worlds, or of the universe or something. And he was a president, he was running for the campaign, and his hair was crazy. Well, I saw that exact face with that hair made from clouds in the sky when I woke up at 6 a.m. I saw it, and I'm like, what the hell? And I heard, like, God laughing. And I started laughing. I was like, it was hysterical. Can you imagine waking up and seeing Will Ferrell's face in the clouds? Oh, especially with that insane hairdo, with the white puffy hair coming out of both sides of his head. Almost like, oh gosh, what is that? Dilbert? Like the boss on Dilbert, but it was white instead of black. Oh my God. Anyway, so I saw that, and then yesterday I saw a portal open up. I know it was a Palladian light ship. I didn't see the light ship itself, but I saw literally a triangle portal. It was opened above where I live. I was like, oh my God. And I felt that radiating light coming in, just pouring love into us. So that was pretty cool. I was really happy about that. So according to the NASA, sorry, the All-Sky Fireball Network, there were only 3 fireballs over the United States, and we're running out of time, so I got to get quickly through this. For 20 minutes today, the Schumann Resonance was 99 hertz frequency in Italy. The HeartMath Institute, I cannot go to their website because it's not currently working, dagnabbit. But 99, that's like pretty high. It's really high for, and when you look at the burst, if you go to disclosurenews.it, it's actually in the shape of white angel wings. I thought that was extremely telling as to what we're going through right now. We are on lesson 327 in A Course in Miracles, acim.org. That's the Foundation for Inner Peace. I'm going to read it real quick. See if we could get through it. I'm going to see again. Got to check the time. Where are we at? Yeah, I got plenty of time. All right. Lesson 327. I need but call and you will answer me. I need but call and you will answer me. I am not asked to take salvation on the basis of an unsupported faith. For God has promised He will hear my call and answer me Himself. Let me but learn from my experience that this is true, and faith in Him must surely come to me. This is the faith that will endure and take me farther and still farther on the road that leads to Him. For thus I will be sure that He has not abandoned me and loves me still, awaiting but my call to give me all the help I need to come to Him. Father, I thank you that your promises will never fail in my experience, if I but test them out. Let me attempt, therefore, to try them and to judge them not. Your word is one with you. You give the means whereby conviction comes, and surety of your abiding love is gained at last. I need but call, and you will answer me. That's lesson 327. If you want to go check it out, you could get a free app in A Course in Miracles or just the website I told you. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to take a quick break. There's a couple of messages, and then I will be right back. And when I do, we're going to be reading from Swami Panchadasi. The book is called The Human Aura. I'm so excited about this, guys, because we're going to be talking tonight about the colors in the aura and what does it mean. So we're getting into the nitty-gritty. I'm pretty excited about this. Of course, if you remember, Swami Panchadasi is William Walker Atkinson. Yes, that wonderful guy who gave us so much of his research, and he wrote so many amazing books. So I'm going to get right to that, but first, a word from, me and my only sponsor. I'll be right back after these two messages. It's that time of year, guys. Finally, OMG. I am up for not only one, but 2 People's Choice Podcast Awards this year. I had no idea. I just found out. Okay, the voting starts today, July 1st, and goes through the 31st of July. And I need you guys to nominate my podcast. This is how you do it. Go to podcastawards.com and you have to sign up in order to nominate me, in order to vote. And you have to go to the very first category at the top, and it's the Adam Curry's People's Choice Podcast Award. And I'm way down on the list because, M, Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And you just click that. And then when you're done with that section, you go to the religion and spirituality category. And again, cast your vote for Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And then you have to go way at the bottom part of the page, and say, save my nominations. And that's it. It's that simple. It takes less than 2 minutes, probably 1 minute if you have high-speed internet, of course. It's not that much. You can even do this on your phone. It's super, super simple. I voted for myself on my tablet. OMG. So thank you for your continued support and listenership and voting for this show, because by doing so, you're keeping the show alive and we're getting the word out so that other people can benefit from my expertise. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. By the way, guys, before I get into reading the book, I wanted to let you know that God himself told me about 2 hours ago that something major is happening, coming our way tomorrow, energetically speaking. And he said you might want to get a hop on tomorrow's message if you can get the channeling done, and then tomorrow just do the introduction early. I'm like, okay, interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my eyes open tonight. We'll see. After I'm done with this part, I'm not sure. But really crazy that was told to me earlier. So I want to pass it along. I mean, even if you hear this later, like a few days from now, you might go, yep, Tuesday was crazy. Energetically speaking. Keep it in mind, you might be hearing this on Tuesday, but just like later today, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, basically later tomorrow in the afternoon or evening, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot going on. So I just wanted to bring that up, before tomorrow, just in case. All right, the name of this book is The Human Aura, Astral Colors and Thought Forms by Swami Panchadasi, published originally in 1912 by the Yogi Publication Society, and then printed by the Yoga Publication Society in 1940. So, a couple different runs this has had. It says, true occult knowledge gives you practical power and strength. The first week we went over what is the human aura, followed by the prana aura, and now we are on the astral colors, which is chapter 3. Let me make sure this is running. Yeah, it says recording in progress. Woohoo! So, all right, there we go. All right, so chapter 3, the astral colors. The term astral, so frequently employed by all occultists, is difficult to explain or define except to those who have pursued a regular course of study in occult science. For the purpose of the present consideration, it is enough to say that over and above the ordinary physical sense plane, there is another more subtle plane known as the astral plane. Every human being possesses the innate inherent faculty of sensing the things of this astral plane by means of an extension or enlargement of the powers of the ordinary senses, so to speak. But in the majority of persons in the present stage of development, these astral senses are lying dormant, and only here and there do we find individuals who are able to sense on the astral plane, although in the course of evolution, the entire race will be able to do so, of course. The colors of the human aura mentioned in the preceding 2 chapters, and which arise from the various mental and emotional states, belong to the phenomena of the astral plane, hence bear the name of the astral colors. Belonging to the astral plane and not to the ordinary physical plane, they are perceived only by the senses functioning on the astral plane and are invisible to the ordinary physical plane sight. Physical plane, Plane, plane sight. Oh, I just lost that. All right, here we go. But to those who have developed the astral sight or clairvoyance, these colors are as real as are the ordinary colors to the average person, and their phenomena have been as carefully recorded by occult science as have the physical plane colors by physical science. The fact that to the ordinary physical senses they are invisible does not render them any the less real. Remember in this connection that to the blind man, our physical colors do not exist. And for that matter, the ordinary colors do not exist to colorblind persons. The ordinary physical plane person is simply colorblind to the astral colors. That's all. On the astral plane, each shade of mental or emotional state has its corresponding astral color, the latter manifesting when the form appears. It follows then, of course, that once the occultist has the key to this color correspondence, and thus is able to perceive the astral colors by means of his astral vision. He also is able to read the mental and emotional states of any person within the range of his vision, as easily as you are now reading the printed words of this book, or you are now listening to the spoken word on a podcast. Ha! Because that just did not make a whole lot of sense right there, right? Oh, goodness. All right. I'm going to pause this for a second because I need to grab some water. All right, I had to have a sip of that amazing mineral water, of this carbonated mineral water I get once in a while. It was really good. Okay. Before proceeding to a consideration of the list of astral colors in the human aura, I wish to call your attention to a slight variation in the case of the prana aura, of which I have spoken of in our last chapter. I have stated therein that the prana aura is colorless, like a diamond or clear water. This is true in the average case, but in the case of a person of very strong physical vitality or virility, the prana aura takes on, at times, a faint warm pink tinge, which is really a reflection of the red astral color, of the meaning of which color you shall now learn. Excuse me. You know what? I just heard in my room a cracking sound, a really faint, though, like a knock inside my closet across the room from me. And there's something that I've noticed in this old house, that this happens a lot. Like there's a knocking from inside the cupboard. And when I'm thinking something really positive, I'll get a knock, a very loud knock on my ceiling, which is made from wood as well. So I have a feeling we might hear more, because the veils between the worlds have thinned, and if you hear someone knocking, I mean, I'm on the 3rd floor, my son's downstairs asleep, no one else can get into this house, it's safe, and no one's in here, and yet almost every single night people are playing with my cupboards downstairs. I'll hear, one time I heard the refrigerator open, no one was down there. Something was happening, but that was on the roof. See, when there's a wind, that's okay, but yeah, the coffee pot makes sounds downstairs all the time. Like, okay, ghosts are just having my coffee. Go right ahead. Or my hot water for tea is what it is, but I use the coffee pot to heat up the water. But anyway, I heard it, so if you guys hear it, just be aware of it, because it's kind of freaky. If you want to hear it, it's there. All right. Like their physical plane counterparts, all the astral colors are formed from 3 primary colors, namely, number 1, red, number 2, blue, number 3, yellow. From these 3 primary colors, all the other colors are formed. Did you guys hear that? That's what I knew was going to happen. I just felt it. I sensed it as it coming. That's the kind of thing I hear all the time. It's unsettling. I don't think it's just the house settling. You know what I mean? Okay, that was me in the bed. So if you heard that was, I just moved, I shifted. But that other thing you heard just a second ago, not me, no one in the room. I'm here by myself in this room. Yeah. When you live in houses of brick, stone, and wood, they hold more patterns than if they're just cement, I think. The man-made cement doesn't hold as much, I think. Anyway. I hope you guys could hear that. I hope it recorded it, because that was pretty loud, man. All right. All right. So we did 1 red, 2 blue, and 3 yellow. From these 3 primary colors, all other colors are formed. Following the primary colors, we find what are known to be the secondary colors, namely number 1, green, derived from the combination of yellow and blue. Number 2, orange, formed from a combination of yellow and red. And 3, purple, formed from a combination of red and blue. Further combinations produce the other colors, as for instance, green and purple form olive. That's interesting, I did not know that. Orange and purple form a russet color, R-U-S-S-E-T. And green and orange form citrine. Interesting, I did not ever know any of these. Black is called an absence of color, while white is really our harmonious blending of all the colors. Strange as this may appear to one who has not studied the subject. The blending of the primary colors in varied proportions produce what is known as the hues of colors. The hues of color, H-U-E-S, of color. Adding white to the hues, we obtain tints, while mixing black produces shades. Strictly speaking, black and white are known as neutral colors. Now, for the meaning of the astral colors, that is the explanation of the mental or emotional state represented by each, I ask that the student familiarize himself with the meaning of the primary colors and their combinations. Now, a clear understanding of the key of the astral colors is often an aid in the development of astral sight. Ooh. Oh my God, you guys, I just lifted up off my bed for, not all the way, but my body started to lift up and then just went slamming back down into the bed. I swear to God, my body wants to start floating, and it's like my skeptical mind that says, nope, not today. While the rest of my mind is like, why not? It sounds like so much fun. Let's go floating around the room. Oh my God. Can you imagine the first time somebody, not me, but just somebody in general floats around the room? What if they died? What if they had a heart attack and died because they're so shocked that happened? Will someone walk into the room and they're floating around the air, just dead? I have the weirdest thoughts. I'm sorry, guys. I just probably shouldn't share them all. But I mean, really, what would happen if you're floating and then you died? Would you continue to float? That would be so strange. It's like that Man Without Gravity. Ugh. That's such a strange but good movie. The ending was incredible. So if you ever see The Man Without Gravity on Netflix, it's awesome. Anyway, it's a weird movie, but it's awesome. I love it. All right, so I'm yawning now. Great. Here comes more cosmic radiation. Let's get through this before I fall asleep. All right. Key to the astral colors. Red. Red represents the physical plane of mentality. That is to say, it stands for that part of the mental activities which are concerned with physical life. It is manifested by the vitality of the body, and in other hues tints, and shades is manifested by passions, anger, physical cravings, etc. I shall describe the various forms of red manifestation a little later on. Again, that was my bad. I just shifted a little bit. Okay. Blue. Blue represents the religious or the spiritual phase of mentality. That is to say, it stands for that part of the mental activities which are concerned with high ideals, altruism, devotion, reverence, veneration, etc. It is manifested in its various hues, tints, and shades by all forms of religious feeling and emotion, high and low, and as we shall see as we proceed. Yellow. Yellow represents the intellectual phase of mentality. That is to say, it stands for that part of the mental activities which are concerned with reasoning, analysis, judgment, logical processes, induction, deduction, synthesis, etc. In its various hues, tints, and shades, it is manifested by the various forms of intellectual activity, high and low, as we shall see as we proceed. Okay, wow. Let me take a break for a second. Hold on, guys. Alright, guys, what I was saying earlier was about self-care, including staying hydrated. I think I mentioned that in the beginning, but seriously, I just had to have a second glass of water. It's how we're going to be able to deal with all the light codes and energy coming in. So drink as much water as you possibly can. Even mineral water, even if it's carbonated. See, here we go with the dogs and the crazy barking again. I don't know if can you hear the venom and not just curious barking, but like I'm gonna rip your guts out type of energy, angry barking. Thank God it just subsided, but the dogs are just exploding angrily outward. It's crazy. And it's not Lobo, because Lobo's chained up because he's got the cone on his head, poor baby. In about 2 weeks he'll be fine. Anyway, back to the book. Alright, so did I even read yellow? I think I did read yellow, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to reread yellow because I know I read it, but I don't remember it. What the hell? I'm like, it's like almost like my memory store is being wiped out by this energy coming in right now. I'll get back into it, but man, all right. Yellow represents the intellectual phase of mentality. That is to say, it stands for that part of the mental activities which are concerned with reasoning, analysis, judgment, logical processes, induction, deduction, synthesis, etc. In its various hues, tints, and shades, it is manifested by the various forms of intellectual activity, high and low, as we shall see as we proceed. All right, as soon as I read that, I do remember reading that already. What the hell? All right, white. White stands for what occultists know as pure spirit, which is a very different thing from the religious emotion of spirituality, and which really is the essence of the all that really is. I'm sorry. Oh, it's weird because, okay, in this paragraph it says really is, and then in the line right below it, it says really is. I got so confused. All right. and which really is the essence of the all that really is. It really does say that. Pure spirit is the positive pole of being. We shall see the part played by it in the astral colors as we proceed. Black. Black stands for the negative pole of being, the very negation of pure spirit, and opposing it in every way. We shall see the part played by it in the astral colors as we proceed. Does he say that at every... He does. He says, as we proceed at the end of every color. That is so strange. All right. The various combinations of the three astral primary colors are formed in connection with black and white, as well as by the blending of the three colors themselves. These combinations, of course, result from the shades of mental and emotional activity manifested by the individuality of which they are the reflection and the key. The combinations and blending of the astral colors, however, are numberless and present an almost infinite variety. Not only is the blending caused by the mixing of the colors themselves in connection with black and white, but in many cases the body of one color is found to be streaked, striped, dotted, or clouded by the other colors. At times there is perceived the mixture of two antagonistic color streams fighting against each other before blending. Again, we see the effect of one color neutralizing another. In some cases, great black clouds obscure the bright colors beneath and then darken the fierce glow of color, just as is often witnessed in the case of a physical conflagration. Again, we find great flashes of bright yellow or red flaring across the field of the aura, showing agitation or the conflict of intellect and passion. The average student who has not developed the astral vision is inclined to imagine that the astral colors in the human aura present the appearance of an egg-shaped rainbow or spectrum or something of that sort. But this is a great mistake. In the first place, the astral colors are seldom at rest, for all mental and emotional activity is a result of vibration, change, and rhythmic motion. Consequently, the colors of the aura present a kaleidoscope appearance of constant change of color, shape, and grouping, a great electrical display, so to speak, constantly shifting, changing, and blending. Great tongues of flame-like emanations project themselves beyond the border of the aura, under strong feeling or excitement, and great vibratory whirls and swirls are manifested. The sight is most fascinating, although somewhat terrifying at first. Nature is wise in bestowing the gift of astral vision only gradually and by almost imperceptible stages of advance. There are many unpleasant as well as pleasant sights on the astral plane. I'm going to check my time here. Cool, we have time for another chapter, so that's awesome, right? Okay, here we go. Chapter 4. The astral colors continued. Remembering always the significance of the three primary colors on the astral plane, let us consider the meaning of the combinations, shades, hues, and tints of these colors. The red group. In this group of astral colors seen in the human aura, we find strongly in evidence the clear bright red shade, similar to that of fresh, pure arterial blood as it leaves the heart, filled with a pure material, freshly oxygenated. This shade in the aura indicates health, life force, vigor, virility, etc., in pure and untainted form. The aura of a healthy, strong child shows this shade of color very plainly and strongly. Strong, pure, natural emotions such as friendship, love, and companionship. It says love of companionship, love of physical exercise, healthy, clean sports, etc., are manifested by a clear, clean shade of red. When these feelings become tainted with selfishness, low motives, etc., this shade grows darker and duller. Love of low companionship, unclean sports, or selfish games, etc., produce an unpleasant, muddy red shade. Unpleasant, muddy red shade. That's weird. Kind of like bricks, huh? A shade of red very near to crimson is the astral color of love. But the tint and shade varies greatly according to the nature of this form of emotional feeling. A very high form of love, which seeks the good of the loved one rather than the satisfaction of oneself, manifests as a beautiful rose tint, one of the most pleasing of the astral tints, by the way. Descending in the scale, we find the crimson shade becoming darker and duller unless we descend to the plane of impure, sensual, coarse passion, which is manifested by an ugly, dull, muddy crimson of a repulsive appearance, suggesting blood mixed with dirty earth or barnyard soil. A peculiar series of red shades are those manifesting anger in its various forms. From the vivid scarlet flashes of anger color, arising from what may be called righteous indignation, down the scale to the ugly flashes of deep, dull red, betokening rage and uncontrolled passion. The red of anger generally shows itself in flashes or great leaping flames, often accompanied by a black background. In the case of malicious hate, or by a dirty greenish background when the rage arises from jealousy or envy. The color of avarice is a very ugly combination of dull dark red and a dirty ugly green. If persons could see their own astral colors accompanying their undesirable mental states, the sight would perhaps so disgust them with such states as to work on a cure. At any rate, they are most disgusting and repulsive to the occultist who beholds them in the human aura, and he often wonders why they do not sicken the person manifesting them. They often do just this thing, to tell the truth. The yellow group. In this group of astral colors seen in the human aura, we find as many varieties as we do in the red group. Interesting. Yellow, denoting intellect, has many degrees of shade and tint and many degrees of clearness. An interesting shade in this group is that of orange, which represents different forms of pride of intellect, intellectual ambition, love of mastery by will, etc. The greater degree of red in the astral orange color, the greater the connection with the physical or animal nature. Pride and love of power over others has much red in its astral color, while love of intellectual mastery has much less red in its composition. All right, how far do we have? Okay, just making sure. Okay. Pure intellectual attainment and the love of the same is manifested by a beautiful, clear, golden yellow. Great teachers have often this so strongly in evidence that at times their students have glimpses of a golden halo around the head of the teacher. Wow, a golden halo around the head of the teacher. Very interesting. Teachers of great spirituality have this nimbus of golden yellow with a border of beautiful blue tint strongly in evidence. The paintings of the great spiritual teachers of the race have usually this radiance pictured as a halo, showing a recognition of the phenomenon on the part of the great artists. Hoffman's celebrated painting of the Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane. Oh my God. I've never been able to pronounce this right for some reason. Gethsemane? All right, we'll just say it that way. Shows this nimbus so accurately depicted that the occultist is derived that this artist must have actually witnessed a similar scene in the astral light. So true to the astral facts are its details. The images of the Buddha also show this radiance. All right. Doesn't say fifth, it says rich, sorry. The rich golden states of intellectual yellow are comparatively rare. A sickly lemon color being the only indication of intellectual power and found in the aura of the greater run of persons. To the sight of the occultist employing his power of astral vision, to the sight of the occultist employing his power of astral vision, a crowd of persons will manifest here and there at widely separated points. The bright golden yellow of the true intellect, appearing like the scattered lighted candles among a multitude of faintly burning matches. Okay, hopefully you guys got that. I'm having this thing where my eyes are going crossed and it's almost like the words are coming up off the page at me. I'm wearing glasses, so it's not dyslexia. Man, I have some wild things going on. Massive tinnitus just happened. And usually it's just in one ear. Now I've got it in two. I'm just trying to get through this, guys. You know what? Honestly, it's really, really so much radiation coming in right now. I need to finish this up, publish it, and I'm going to go right to bed. Because, I'm going to be all night long like this. I have a feeling about it. Anyway, let's try to get through this. Okay, I'm going to read that last paragraph again because maybe I read it wrong. Like I didn't put the right emphasis on the right thing, so we'll try it one more time. The rich golden shades of intellectual yellow are comparatively rare, a sickly lemon color being the only indication of intellectual power and found in the aura of the great run of persons. To the sight of the occultist employing his power of astral vision, a crowd of persons will manifest here and there at widely separated points. The bright golden yellow of the true intellect appearing like scattered lighted candles among a multitude of faintly burning matches. Alright, cool. For some reason I hadn't gotten the message. Even though I read it, I wasn't figuring it out. Alright. The green group. This is a peculiar group consisting, as of course it does, of various combinations of blues and yellows, tinted and shaded by white or black. Even skilled occultists find it very difficult to account for the fact of certain green shades arising from the spiritual blue and the intellectual yellow. This is one of the most obscure points in the whole subject of the astral colors, and none but the most advanced occultists are able to explain the why in some instances. To those who are fond of analysis of this kind, I will drop the following hint, which may help them on the matter vis-a-vis. The key is found in the fact that green lies in the center of the astral spectrum and is a balance between the two extremes, and is also influenced by these two extremes in a startling manner. A certain restful green denotes love of nature, outdoor life, travel in the country, etc. And also slightly differing in tint, the love of home scenes, etc. Again, a clear, beautiful, lighter tint of the green indicates what may be called sympathy, altruistic emotion, charity, etc. Again, illustrating variety in this group of astral colors, another shade of green shows intellectual tolerance of the views of others. Growing duller, this indicates tact, diplomacy, ability to handle human nature, and descending another degree or so blends into insincerity, shiftiness, untruth, etc. There is an ugly slate color green indicating low, tricky deceit. This is a very common shade in the colors of the average aura. Wow. I'm sorry to say. I bet you are. Finally, a particularly ugly, muddy, murky green indicates jealousy and kindred feelings, envious, malice, etc. The blue group. This interesting group of astral colors represents the varying forms and degrees of religious emotion, spirituality, etc. The highest form of spiritual religious religious feeling. I'm going to see where I'm at and try that one over. Okay. The highest form of spiritual religious feeling and thought is represented by a beautiful, rich, clear violet tint, while the lawyer, not getting better, Elena, while the lower and more gross phases of religious emotion and thought are represented by the darker and duller hues, tints, and shades, until a dark, deep indigo is reached. So dark that it can scarcely be distinguished between black and bluish black. That's not what it says, sorry. So dark it could scarcely be distinguished from a bluish black. This latter color, as might be expected, indicates a low superstitious form of religion, scarcely worthy of the latter name. Religion, we must remember, has its low places as well as its heights. Its garden grows the rarest flowers and at the same time the vilest of weeds. High spiritual feelings, true spiritual unfoldment, is indicated by a wonderfully clear light blue of an unusual tint, something akin to the clear light blue of the sky on a cool autumn afternoon just before sunset. Trying to think if I am familiar with that one. I don't know. Even when we witness an approach to this color in nature, we are inspired by an uplifting feeling, as if we were in the presence of higher things. So true is the intuition regarding these things. Morality of a high degree is indicated by a series of beautiful shades of blue, always of a clear, inspiring tint. Religious feeling ruled by fear is indicated by a shade of bluish gray. Oh, that's really strange. Purple denotes a love of form and ceremony, particularly those connected with religious offices or regal grandeur of a solemn kind. Never heard of regal grandeur, have you? So strange. Purple naturally was chosen as the royal color in the olden days. Alright, let's see where we're going to go. Yeah, we're at the end now. Let's see, here we go. I'm going to check the time. Hold on. Ooh, I checked it at 4:33. That's so cool. Alright. Alright, the brown group. The brown group of astral colors represents desire for gain and accumulation, ranging from the clear brown of industrious accumulation to the murky dull browns of miserliness, greed, and avarice. There is a great range in this group of brown shades as might be imagined. The gray group. The group of grays represents a negative group of thoughts and emotions. Gray represents fear, depression, lack of courage, negativity, etc. This is an undesirable. Why am I not saying that right? This is an undesirable and unpleasant group. Black. Black in the astral colors stands for hatred, malice, revenge, and devilishness, generally. It shades the brighter colors into their lower aspects and robs them of their beauty. It stands for hate and also for gloom and depression, pessimism, etc. White. White is the most astral color of pure spirit, as we have seen, and its presence raises the degree of the other colors and renders them clearer. In fact, the perception of the highest degree of being known to the most advanced occultists is manifested on the highest adepts, or manifested to the highest adepts and masters in the form of the great white light. I'm going to read that again. In fact, the perception of the highest degree of being known to the most advanced occultist is manifested to the highest adepts and masters in the form of the great white light, which transcends any light ever witnessed by the sight of man on either physical or astral plane, for it belongs to a plane higher than either, and is absolute rather than a relative white. The presence of white among the astral colors of the human aura betokens a high degree of spiritual attainment and unfoldment, and when seen permeating the entire aura and when seen permeating the entire aura, it is one of the signs of the master, the token of adeptship, ADEPTSHIP, adeptship. I don't know how to pronounce that. All right, well, there you have it. Those were 2 more chapters in the book. I'm trying to get back to this other page now. Darn it. All right. It's like somehow everything's freezing up. Okay, got it. Yay. Phew. There, I cannot even read anymore. I'm just like absolutely being bombarded by this radiation again. When I first sat down, I felt great. I had a bunch of water and that did help. Anyway, I'm going to go into a meditation mode as soon as I'm done publishing this. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. I will be back tomorrow with all unique and original programming, just like always. Thank you for your votes. I've been getting a lot of emails from you guys saying, hey, I did it. I voted for you for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. So thank you so much for that, guys. I really appreciate that. I love you very, very much, and I'm grateful that we're on this journey together. This would have been a hard road to do alone. I'm glad that I have other people around the world that I could talk to once in a while, and we can discuss these things. Anyway, well, there's that. Please continue to honor yourselves, love yourselves, eat healthy, get lots of sleep and lots of rest. And I will too. In fact, I'm going to go to bed right now as soon as I'm done publishing this. Anyway, take care of yourself, like for real. Okay? So that's it. I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Till next time, guys. Peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.